Yo, this is Deontay the Bronx Bummer Wild, the WBC heavyweight champion of the world. And I'd like to give a big shout out to CJ Goodfellow of Sports TV. Bomb Squad, baby.
All right, Errol Spence opens up about his fight with Yordenis Ugas. All right, he gives an update on his camp. But first, let's look at the new and rebuff Errol Spence versus Yordenis Ugas fight card. I know you guys gonna want to order this. I mean, I think this gonna sell like hot and ready's on a Friday night when you got the football team over to your house, your kids' football team. So they rebuffed it. Yordenis and Batuev are off the televised portion of the card. They will go on regular Showtime. So there'll be a prelim card on regular Showtime, not on CBS, not on YouTube. So if you don't have Showtime, you got to pay an additional $14, $15, $16, to watch it on the app or watch it do Showtime. Right? So that was the best card. That was the best fight on the pay-per-view card. And that produces Errol Spence and Ugas mandatory, and people are not going to see them get down and fight. And that lets you know everything you need to know. He has no intention, even though Ugas put together a step-aside deal, they have no intentions on putting Batuev and Yordenis in the ring with Errol Spence. Now, if Ugas wins by some miracle, then, they probably happily make that fight and say, well, he can't fight Bud next. He got a mandatory. Mark my words. I got Al Heyman algorithm down to a damn science. So that's what they gonna say. Spence Ugas pay-per-view undercard is Issa Cruz is the co-feature. We've been knew that versus Yuriorkis Gamboa. I think Jose Venezuela, I think his name is. He the one that knocked out Teofimo Lopez in the gym. Is going to be taking on Vargas. So let's read it. I don't know what that word is. So he'll be taking on Francisco El Bandino Vargas. We already knew that. Yeah, Vargas, man. Julio Cesar Sr. said it's criminal what they did to his career, and I got to agree, man. He been put in very tough in a lot of wars, man. So Jose Venezuela, he's a prospect. He was like 2-0 or 3-0 when he dropped T.O. and he parked T.O. He dropped and stopped him according to them in the gym. We know T.O. isn't a fight not fighter, but he said 11-0, 0 losses, 0 draws, 7 KOs. Okay. So I mean, he really ain't. He fought a dude 22-3-1, 14-2. So his resume looking pretty solid at this point. 12-3, 7-3. So there's been a step up there. So very exciting fighter, very promising fighter. I think he could be the future of this. So he'll be fighting Francisco Vargas. Okay, he just beat Austin Delay by 4th round stoppage at the Armory in Minnesota. Minneapolis 12-18. Okay. So Gamboa and Cruz is the co-feature. Who the hell want to pay for that? Trash. All right. And also you got Cody Crowley taking on Josito Lopez, which is solid. He's from Cody Crowley. He beat the Errol Spence IBF mandatory. Qdoba, and he'll be going against Josito the Riverside Rocky, Josito Lopez. I don't even know the last time Josito Lopez even fought. Like, when the last time he fought? Didn't he retire with Don Molina or something? That nigga should be retired. Nigga 40. Would you still fight? Be 38 in July 19. Why is he still fighting? Last time he fought was versus Francisco Santana, and that was in December 5th, 2020. That was like it was on the Danny Garcia Errol Spence undercard. Before that, I mean, I don't even know. I mean, I guess he a name. He can make some money. And he won his last two, but since losing to Keith Thurman, he had a majority decision. Last time he literally lost was a TKO to Andre Berto 2015. So, I mean, he probably feel like he still can do it. So he'd be fighting Cody Crowley. None of this on BoxRec yet. Just announced today. Usually they pretty pretty fast. He be fighting Cody Crowley, who had a good performance versus Qdoba. It was rumored that he turned down Jerron Ennis IBF title eliminator because he won $1 million, but he had a good fight versus Cody Qdoba, and he coming. He's 28 years old, sparred with Floyd. Floyd inspired with all these young cats. Hilarious. So it'll be interesting to see. So as far as the card, you look at the fights on the card, it's a huge blow. They took Stoyanis and Batuev off the card. Who dumb idea was that? Right? But honestly, bro, you get a prospect on the card, versus Francisco whatever damn name, Francisco Vargas. So really, man, 2 duds. You get a prospect fighting Francisco Vargas, which I think they could have did better, but it's a good fight for Venezuela. Get Cruz versus Gamboa, trash, and Cody Crowley versus Lopez is pretty good. But for them to be asking for in the 10-rounder is the co-main event. That's the best shit about the fight. A 10-rounder is the co-main event. So you ain't gotta wait long, So it's the co-main event is a 10-rounder. All the whole undercard is 10 rounds. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe they didn't lease or rent the building. Whatever releasing is the proper word to say it. They didn't lease the building for long. So the best thing about this card, bro, other than the main event, which can be a boom or can be a bust depending on this healthy Errol Spence. We about to transition to that in a minute. The best thing about this and about this damn fight, about this card is all this shit 10 rounds. The 3 fights on the undercard is all 10 rounders to let you know about that. Don't get there to the main event start unless you want to holler at the ladies. Don't get there to the main event start. But the best thing about this card is all the undercard is a whole 10 rounders. Cool. The best fight on this undercard is probably going to be Cody Crowley, Josito Lopez. But Lopez 40 and inactive. That nigga ain't fought in over a year. A year and a half is going on. So, like I said, they took it cheap. I mean, it is what it is. And Ugas can really stand there. He is a very boring fighter. Even the Pacquiao fight was boring. So, Errol Spence probably just going to beat on him, and it's going to be boring. Now, speaking of Errol Spence, he did an interview with the PBC podcast. You can slide over to premierboxingchampions.com, and the podcast section should be there. All right? I'm getting some free promo out your boy. I don't even like him. I don't like Al. I don't like his boxers. I don't like his damn Showtime. I don't like none of them. I don't like none of these niggas. A couple fighters that I like over there. But the rest, a lot of how they moving over there, I'm good. I'm good. So, but he says Errol Spence says, I'm feeling super strong for the Yordenis Ugas fight. Errol Spence weight is not a problem. Camp has been great. I've been training hard, super focused, leaving no stone unturned, and listening to my coach, said Errol Spence Jr. to the PBC podcast when asked about how his training has gone for this fight with Yordenis Ugas April 16th. Quote, he's coming up with a great game plan and making sure everything is on point by the time April 16th comes, said Errol Spence. Quote, I'll just be a full beast before I get in the ring. Quote, no, what Oscar De La Hoya did is he weighed in at 147 and came to the fight 148, 149. So after the weigh-in, he only gained 2 pounds, which was crazy, said Spence when asked if he's concerned about keeping his weight near fighting weight could weaken him like it did De La Hoya when he fought Pacquiao 2018. For one, that's a dumbass question. Well, I don't even know how that came up. That's just a dumb question. Because Pacquiao put a rehydration clause on Oscar De La Hoya like he did the rest of those opponents. So why Ugas ain't the A side, so he ain't putting a rehydration clause on Errol Spence. So why would that even be a question? Ignorance. That's pure ignorance. Come on. Why would he willingly come in 2 pounds heavier? He went on. For me, quote, I weighed in at 147. I'm going to come in and fight 160, 161. That's why I feel he was so weak, because he was so depleted and didn't put anything back in his body, said Spencer De La Hoya. Our bodies are like computers, quote. Our bodies adapt to anything. So If you're at a weight long enough, your body adapts to it and you will fill in. Quote, right now, I feel like my body has adapted to it and I feel strong in the weight class. I mean, at the weight I'm at right now, even sparring for 12 rounds, I still feel stronger sparring with 30 seconds rest. I feel strong right now. Quote, it's a lot better than being 30 pounds overweight, then heavier than your weight and putting on a sauna suit trying to lose the weight. So take that over that pain any day. Says Spence. Shots at Blu-ray. Blu-ray didn't know how to take the weight off the right way. Blu-ray hell up with strength conditioning coach. Spence is not worried about Ugas. I'm working on my craft. I'm not getting fighters that fight just like Ugas said Spence when he's doing the training camp. I'm making sure I'm doing things correctly, making sure my reflexes are on point, making my punches are sharp, and making sure I have a variety of punches and they're all clicking at the same time. Continue quote. No, I wasn't surprised at all when Smith said when asked if he's surprised that Yordenis Ugas beat Manny Pacquiao last year. Quote, Manny's not the same Manny. I feel the one thing that defeats everybody is old age, Father Time. So I definitely wasn't surprised that he beat. And quote, we know Pacquiao is basically balls to the wall as far as throwing punches and making it all-out war if he thinks that he's down. I felt like he wanted to do it, but he couldn't. I wasn't surprised. Ugas did his thing and defeated a legend. Quote, I think everybody has a game plan until you get in there. He can say whatever he wants, but he's the trainer and will be looking from the outside. Quote, it all sounds good until you get in the ring, said Spence about Spence when he told that Ugas trainer Ishmael Salas said his high work rate would leave him vulnerable. Said that's common sense. That's common sense. And if he ain't worried about that, then hey, it is what that's common. That's why I try to explain to people about Spence and Ugas. If he gonna open up, he ain't fought no counter puncher, bro. Like Danny Garcia is not the same because Danny Garcia like to have fighters at the end of his punches. Or Dennis Ugas moves in to have fighters at the end of his punch. You see what I'm saying? Danny don't have enough. He's not at the range to really get off his shots versus a longer Spence. Ugas is somebody that walks straight to you, slip, and defend. So if he throw a lot of punches at Ugas, that's a counter puncher. The question is, if Ugas is able to counter his high work rate, the question is, will Spence be able to make the adjustment? Now, the adjustment can be, I can just overwhelm him and I can take his counter shots and overwhelm him, or I can make an adjustment. And when you face a counter puncher, like when people face Floyd Mayweather, there's a reason why they output decrease because you getting hit with a shot that you don't see coming. You see what I'm saying? You slipping. He not like Danny was standing from a distance where he trying to fire. Ugas is slipping and sliding on the inside and he punching with you. He punching around your guard. So it's interesting because he able to get a high work rate versus Mikey Garcia because Garcia was countering in spurts, but he didn't. And Mikey Garcia and Danny Garcia, they counter in spurts. The thing about it is, Yordenis Ugas is he's not going to move in with his head on the line. He likes to kind of like creep. You know what I'm saying? He like to creep, bro. Like when Yordenis Ugas get in there, he like to slip. He very slippery. He like to kind of slide in there. Danny and Mikey don't have the melanin in their skin or don't have the athleticism that Ugas got. Ugas know how to slip and get in there. The question is, like I said, he could throw all them punches, but when you get in there with a counter puncher, all that shit stop. Then you got to make the next adjustment. Now, here's what it is why Floyd was so successful versus Manny Pacquiao. He said, ring rust is not an issue. I can do different things. I'm basically well-rounded enough to do everything, says Spence. Quote, I can adapt, switch it up. If need to, change it up to what I can and do whatever it takes to win. Quote, he's a thinker in there, super sharp with this right hand. And for me, it's not really his game plan, says Spence, about Ugas brings to the table. He said, quote, I feel like as long as I'm super sharp and super strong, I feel that my abilities, I feel like I don't have anything to worry about from him. Quote, it's just for me to stay sharp, focus, and keep my eye on the fight, and this fight only. I feel like I'm going to become victorious. So maybe he hinting right here that he gonna fight Bud next. Oh, he not worried about Ugas. Of course he not. This is a glorified tune-up. I keep telling y'all that. Quote, I feel like I don't have any ring rust when you're in the gym, fully focused in the gym sparring, hitting the mitts, things like that, says Spence when asked if you're concerned that he'll be coming off a 1 year and a half layoff for his fight with Ugas. He said, I feel like ring rust is about a mindset, and I feel I'm not going to have ring rust because I feel like a fight is like sparring. I feel like if I'm sharp in the sparring, I'm sharp in the gym, I'm going to be sharp on the fight night. And that's on a fight by fight basis. That's because sparring is not the same thing as a fight. Say what you want to say. Sometimes sparring can be harder than a fight. But sparring, when you fight an elite level opponent, it's a different ball game. It's a different ball game. But it's a fight by fight basis. Now I might come to the end of the fight. He might say, "Oh, I wasn't as sharp as I thought I was." He said, I feel it's different for people because they don't believe sparring is just like a fight. Fighting is just like sparring. They separate it. For them, the fight is way more pressure on them than sparring. Quote, so a lot of times they struggle under the bright lights because they haven't been under the bright lights for so long. For me, whether sparring or the fight, I feel like I'm at home regardless. For me, it doesn't really matter where I'm at. And like I said, it's a fight by fight case. But in sparring, you wear bigger gloves. In sparring, you wear headgear. In sparring, it ain't no crowd. You know what I'm saying? It depends. T.O. don't look good in the gym. Come fight night, he a fight night fighter. It's a fight by fight cases. Spence feels he's the same. No, I feel like I was sparring and working out, said Spence when asked if there are any point in the last fight against Danny Garcia in 2020 where he felt that he was his old self. The truth, after coming off a year layoff in a terrible car crash in 2019, he said, quote, no, that didn't happen at all. I felt that he hit hard, but with the way everybody else was talking about it, I'm going to have to find out what he hit like and hit me on my arms, or I think even something said Spence asked if Danny Garcia is the biggest puncher he ever faced. Quote, in the first round, everybody was talking about like he's the biggest puncher ever, to where if he touched you, you're going to sleep. I was like, we'll see. He hit me and it wasn't like everybody was talking about. Quote, it wasn't hard, but it wasn't what Keith and Sean, it was hard, but it wasn't what Keith and Sean were saying. It's hard, but not like he's knockout artist hard. But it was definitely hard. Quote, I feel like I'm 100% and have been looking 100% in sparring, working out and training and things like that. Spence said when asked if he's the same fighter he once was before the 2019 car crash in Dallas, Texas. Quote, people are going to have to tune in to the fight and find out with their own eyes that I'm 100%. We'll see April 16th if I'm 100%. I feel like if I'm organic and real, I'm a guy that you will see at Walmart with the muscle shirt on and sweatpants on with some slippers. Quote, even in the mall, I'd be having slippers with no socks, muscle shirts. Who gives a fuck about this? I don't really care. He said being more active and not getting injured at all, as I'm having and sitting out for a long time. Said Spence asked High Vision 2022, quote, just being active. I want to be active as soon as this fight is over with. I want to be talking about my next fight. So just staying in the gym, being active, fighting more, making more of these 3 or 4 years I got left, said Spence. So he said he only fight for 3 or 4 more years. So, I mean, like I said before, it's always detours. He wasn't 100% before the car accident. That's the thing about it. He was already slipping. He wasn't getting knockouts. He wouldn't have the energy that he used to have. So, the chances of the Lamont Peterson, Kell Brook, Errol Spence coming back at 147 pounds, it's probably slim to none. If we're being honest, he wasn't 100% in Danny Garcia fight. If you watch that fight, bro, he didn't look too good physically in that fight, bro. He wasn't 100% himself, and that probably got something to do with the weight cut. You know what I'm saying? So, apparently he brought in Declan Welsh, who, is helping him make weight easier, and he might be the Errol Spence that fought Lamont, Kell Brook. He might be that beast again, but either or, 80%, 100%, 90%, 75%, 70%, he gonna beat Yordenis Ugas. That's it, and his body probably getting killed by the weight, but it's interesting. Let me know what you think about the undercard. Think about this little interview with PBC. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. That subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance to get notifications. We go live or drop a video. Want to financially support the channel? Cash App, $ CJ Good 313, Venmo CJ Good 313, PayPal link description. Hit the Linktree link. Find me everywhere. I'm on social media producing content from Twitch, Spotify, and much more. It's right in the comment section. Appreciate the love and support. Check the welterweight box on playlist.